Hey dolls, welcome back to your Royal BFF, the People's Duchess. How's it going? Hope you guys are having a happy hump day. We need to talk about Tyla. Tyla, girl, what is not clicking for you? What isn't clicking? So, if you don't know, Tyla was originally scheduled to go to Nigeria, Lagos specifically, as one of her tour stops on the African branch of her world tour. Not much of a world tour for Africa. She only had two stops in South Africa, where she's from, and then Lagos, Nigeria on there as well. Now, ordinarily, this would be a very good time for Lagos. Detty December going into January is a really good time in Lagos usually, but for Tyla, right now, it couldn't be a worse time to try to go and do anything in Lagos. Why is this the worst time to do anything in Lagos for Tyla, you might ask? Well, I have a few videos I want to get through, and then we'll chat about it on the other side.
Hello, Tyla. How are you? Tyla, we heard you're coming to Lagos, Nigeria for Detty December. Nigerians are so happy. See, forget about the xenophobic attacks. I know you don't know about it. Come to Nigeria. Nigerians love you. You know you're our best Afrobeat artist, huh? Come, we'll welcome you. They said it's Tinubu's Lagos you want to do the show. Tinubu's Lagos, Abi. Nigerians are so happy. Please come. Hey, oh, we know it's not your fault. We know the xenophobic attacks. You've not even heard about it. Probably it's now you heard about it. We know that all the things happening to Nigerians in South Africa, like that Igbo man that was on a life in South Africa. I know you didn't hear about it. Nigerians need the show. At least we don't need to go back to South Africa. At least South Africa will come back to us. Tyla, come to Nigeria. We are very happy. We will watch your show. See, in fact, all of the security we have, use it to guide the whole Tinubu Lagos. For only you, we want to see your waist. Water. Is that what I want to see? Don't worry, eh? we don't know anything about xenophobia. We know you two, you don't know. Come with your tiny waist. Nigerians will welcome you. Nigerians will welcome you, yeah?
You're trying to tell me that you've never defended Nigeria. You have a huge platform, which is okay. You're an artist. You don't have to be an activist. I'm not saying that just because you're an artist, you need to be an activist. But hear me. You never defended Nigeria. You never made a tweet, a statement, a TikTok, nothing, right? You completely acted blind to the whole xenophobic attacks and xenophobia. And of course, it wasn't just Nigerians, it was other African countries. But Nigerians, they were the main group on the receiving end. Our Starr show was canceled in your country, and not once did you deem it fit to say anything in support of Nigeria, and your team, and whoever the Oswald is in the Nigerian side that's helping you organize this show, think it's actually okay for you to come and make money in Lagos, Nigeria, where if you are doing an African tour, obviously, besides your country, Nigeria is the place where you will stand to make the most of your money. Absolutely not. And for those of you who are saying she's not the government, it's not a big... Nobody ever said she was the government. Nobody ever said she has to be an activist. I'm just saying, especially because you do want to do an African tour. You have Lagos as a tour stop. So if you are actually interested in coming to perform in Nigeria, is it not common sense to at least just one statement, just one, to condemn xenophobia? You didn't say anything. You completely acted blind to the BS. I'm not saying you're responsible for the attacks. I'm not saying you're responsible for xenophobia, but you completely acted blind to the BS, and you actually think that Nigerians should welcome you. You're entitled. Nigerians should welcome you with open arms to come and make money in Lagos. So for all of you that say this is not a big deal, this is how you guys continue to overlook small things, and that's how we end up in the deep shit that we are in today. We need to learn how to stand for something, even if it means starting with it.
Tyla is having a show in December in Nigeria, and that show must not happen. This is the one time Nigerians have to come together and stand for something. Not after the xenophobic attacks that we saw in South Africa and how immigrants, and especially Nigerian immigrants, were treated. Not one word from Tyla, not even performative activism from her. She never spoke about it, but all of a sudden she wants to have a show in Nigeria. I even think that is very insulting to the intelligence of Nigerians. Assuming that we are so spineless that we would welcome her into into Nigeria with open arms without the consideration of what happened and what's been happening in South Africa. This is the one time Nigerians have the opportunity to stand for something. And if Nigerians go for that show, then I can finally say that all hope is lost and Nigerians are indeed a spineless population. Zimbabweans did it. They boycotted South African artists in Zimbabwe. It's not about Tyla. I have no beef with her, but it's about coming together as a people and saying, no, we have a voice and that voice matters. If you really love Tyla as a Nigerian, which by the way is okay, you love her music, you love her, apply for a South African visa, take a flight from Nigeria, go to South Africa and attend her shows. That show must not happen in Nigeria. We need to, for one time, come together as a people and make a statement. We are not a population of people that should only matter when it has to do with entertainment, your shows, your tours, and your concert. But when we are killed by xenophobes in your country, attacked and driven out of your country unfairly by people who are just exuberantly passionate without any sense of knowledge on how immigration works, people who don't want to hold their government accountable, they just want to go on the streets and drive foreigners away from their country. We're not going to take that. Tyla must not have that show. We have Nigerian artists. Why is she coming to Nigeria to take away our jobs? She's coming to take away our jobs. We don't want foreigners. We have our own musicians. They can do the shows in our country. We don't want South African musicians or celebrities who are not speaking up against xenophobia to come to our country to be platformed. And if that show happens, like I said, then Nigerians are indeed a spineless people. Even if it happens, please make sure you go with your placards. Make sure you chorus no to xenophobia. Make sure you stage something that will be monumental for people to see that we do not condone xenophobia and it's not something that should be accepted towards Nigerians and other African nationalities.
So Tyla has cancelled her Nigerian concert after Nigerians said that go back. But even after cancelling, some Nigerians are still mocking her. So earlier this week, Tyla and her management team released this information that you are seeing on the screen. And whatever that they were trying to cut across, or the information they were trying to cut across, is that from December or in the festive season, there are some countries they will be visiting, they will be touring, concerts and all that. And in the list, you could find Lagos, Nigeria in there. And that is why Nigerians started making videos like this.
Tyla, don't let anybody lie to you. Nigerians love you. They are just joking. All those ones they are saying, it's just for the internet. Don't mind them. What have you done that is wrong? Come, Jare. We love you people. What is not there? Come.
Now, I woke up today, found my way on the internet, and this is what I saw. That is what you are seeing on the screen, that Tyla and her management team, they've removed Lagos from the entire tour that they are going to go on from December, I think, to January 2027. They've removed Lagos, Nigeria. The program that was supposed to happen in Nigeria was going to be on the 22nd of December 2026. So I wanted to confirm if indeed they've actually they've removed Nigeria. And if you go to the official websites of the A-pop, the tour's name is A-pop. She's trying to promote her new album, right? A-pop. And if you find your way there, you can see that from 2nd December to 19th December, you have tickets, different places, Arizona, the Anthem, Coca-Cola, Roxy, those kind of cities. She has it still in there. But she doesn't have Lagos, Nigeria anymore. Tyla said, it's okay.
My whole thing is, tell me where's the lie? Where's the lie in anything that they've said? Yes, they're obviously being facetious and using hyperbole to demonstrate their argument. However, the truth and the facts still remain. Tyla, why wouldn't you have the media training, the media literacy to make a statement? Or even just the basic respect for the audience that you're trying to court? Thinking that you're just going to walk into Lagos and be like, well, I'm just going to ignore them and I'm going to go there and the ones who like me and the ones who don't. No, babes. No. That's not how it works around Lagos. That's not how it works in Nigeria, okay? Nigerians, we are a very stubborn, hard-headed, just shenanigan rich people. In fact, you dey craze should be our national motto. One of our favorite things to say, you dey craze, you dey mad. So Tyla, you dey mad. Are you insane? Just trying to pop into Lagos as if there weren't like an ocean of fire around you, like around South Africa. Like people are not happy right now. And it doesn't take being a Nigerian to understand the anger and the pain. You don't need to be a Nigerian nationalist or even an African person to condemn the xenophobic attacks. You just need to be a human being with a heart, with a little bit of empathy, even a mustard seed's worth of empathy. So people took great offense, not to you yourself coming there because you're South African, but because you're South African and you're pretending that none of these things matter. None of the brutality that Nigerians have faced at the hands of South Africans matter. And the other instances that people are quite upset about, Arya Starr's show in South Africa being canceled. She was denied her visa. Her and her team were denied visas. Arya Starr is a very popular Nigerian artist, in case you guys don't know. And then there's the case of Miss Universe, Chidinma Adesina, who is fighting active deportation from South Africa. She has done nothing wrong. She's committed no crimes. They are just literally trying to eject her based on her being Nigerian. So these are also things that you have no temerity to speak on. You don't have anything to say to your peers in the industry that are facing this xenophobia in your country. We're not personally saying that you are responsible for any of this, but you would think that as a media literate person who seeks to make money in a country that is facing terrifying abuse from your home country, you would think that like you would have just maybe a tweet or something. You over here tweeting about Rihanna all day long, but you can't say anything in support of your Nigerian peers and brothers and sisters being mistreated. I don't understand what it is, like your obsession with Rihanna and then trying to cosplay her while also dismissing her as a person, as like an accomplished person. She's not your peer, by the way. In Nigeria, they tell you, she's not your mate, though. She's not your mate. You they craze? She's not your mate, Tyla, first of all. So let's just check the disrespect at the door. And not that just because she's older than you or more accomplished than you means that she deserves more respect. I'm giving everyone the same amount of respect here. But Rihanna, unlike you, is very culturally aware and trained. Even when she was brand new out here, she got that media training early. She's also an island gal. She's also a very fair-skinned, light-eyed gal. But she didn't come out here and try to use that as a stepping stone to be better than anyone else. In fact, she really acclimated to the culture and made it the backbone of her brand. We all know Fenty for its inclusivity. Rihanna made inclusivity a whole thing. So you could never, in many ways, when it comes to Rihanna, you just couldn't on your best day. That woman is so unproblematic. She has never bothered you a day in her life, but you always take to the internet to tweet some nonsense, make some nonsense TikToks, talk about her, talk about what she says to you. Like, if you don't like her, if you don't see her as a role model or anyone to emulate, keep Rihanna's name out of your mouth. Has that ever like crossed your mind or no? You have so much to say about Rihanna. You have so much to say when it comes to things that you have done and been called out for. When they called you out about your weirdness around her, then you took to TikTok to make that whole little video. When they called you out about your weirdness towards Halle Bailey, you then took to your Twitter to address that. So you can address things that people call you out on. You can address the outcry from people. You're just being selective about what you address, which is perfectly fine. That is completely up to you to address or not address whatever you want to. But these are the reasons why people don't want you in Lagos. These are the reasons why you are dealing with the backlash from not just Nigerians, but a lot of different groups. And I'm not trying to turn this into no diaspora war. I don't believe in that. I'm not into any of that nonsense. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I don't believe in all that separation, tribalistic nonsense. But Tyla, your behavior has really offended many groups. And in order to understand why, perhaps you should finally ask yourself, why do all these various groups of Black folks have an issue with me? You are behaving in ways that are really dismissive and offensive. And unfortunately, there's a pattern of that because of your insistence on using the word colored, which people have explained to you over and over and over again what the history of that word is, how it does not fly in the US, and why it doesn't fly in the US. You still insist on using it because you think it's still better than being just black, like a black American. No one's mistaking you for black, first of all. Like, we all get it. Your dad's Indian, whatever. But like, that whole caste system thing doesn't work here. Yes, there's colorism. Yes, there's racism. Yes, there's a hierarchy to things. But insisting on using that word because in your home country it gives you a leg up from the rest of the black people is just no, Tyla. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we first picked up what Tyla was putting down in my initial video, Lessons We Learned from Meghan, the Tyla backlash, and why context is key. If you haven't seen the video, I definitely recommend stopping here, watching the video, and coming back because context is in fact key. And I was just comparing how Meghan handled her racial undertones and the cultural understandings that she had to quickly adapt to over in Britain versus Tyla's attempt to do so in America, or her not attempting at all, in my opinion, to do so in America. I gave Tyla a lot of grace, try to put myself in her shoes, see things from her perspective, and I gave her a ton of grace. That Breakfast Club interview was completely invalid, Tyla. You were out of pocket with that. I have the video clip. Let's watch and then chat on the other side.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too.
Shut up, man.
I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that. I like the character. That's good. That's even better.
Next one, please.
That's even better.
You're stupid, yo.
Yeah, so Tyla had the right to deny answering the question. If she doesn't want to answer a question, she doesn't have to. But as you can see from her body language, it was so annoyed. It was so very off-putting the way that she responded. She could have handled that much better. She didn't have to roll her eyes and then roll her neck and then roll her whole body. Like, she could have just said, oh, I think I've kind of explained that and I want to understand culturally a little bit more before I continue clarifying. She didn't have to come unprepared to that interview. It rubbed people the wrong way, as did the way that you treated Halle Bailey on that MTV Awards stage. We also did. Trying to mammy Halle Bailey was crazy. Trying to mammy Lil Nas X is also crazy. So no matter which way you slice this pie, it comes up rotten in the center. Why would you ask either of them to hold that thing for you? Why would that be the first thought in your mind? Where did you think you were? First of all, that was a body check. Let's just start there. That was weird. Weird body checking. But secondly, you would have done better to ingratiate yourself to Halle and Nas, seeing as how they've made it in this industry that you are currently trying to get a pass into. It was really weird, hun. Very weird behavior. And the unapologetic attitude, the gaslighting, the way that you're trying to tell us that we're not seeing and feeling what we just saw and what we feel. Tyla, we did see that and we did feel that. And that's why millions of people had something to say about it. And bizarrely enough, this reminds me of Prince William, a famously xenophobic douche. Tyla and him have a lot of the same attributes. They both suffer from foot and mouth disease, where whenever they say something that they're not pre-programmed to say, whenever a question comes up that's off the cuff, they always choose the wrong thing to respond with, every time. In recent months, she and her team have done a better job of more tightly controlling her narrative, including the things that she's putting out on social media, especially after the Rihanna Met Gala backlash. In William's case, can't really turn a hoe into a housewife there, so he's kind of a lost cause. But I think that they would be unlikely allies in that their mutual xenophobia could make a very formidable partnership for Tyla in the UK. In fact, it would be mutually beneficial for both Tyla and the royals, right? She would get an in to the British public via the royals, and they could turn around and go, see, look, we have a black friend. Look, Tyla, right here, black. Very unlikely allies, but maybe she might do a little bit better in the UK. Maybe she should set her sights on the UK, where the black British men and women there are less entrenched in like the politics of race and ethnicity. They are more battling the caste system out there than anything else. So I asked all of us to give her some grace in that last video that I made after her Breakfast Club interview. And I still think that she does deserve some grace, but for me, this is where I tap out. Like officially tap out of her career, the trajectory of it. I'm just tapped out. And it's unfortunate. I wanted to give her a chance. I really wanted this young lady to succeed, but now that I see that she's hanging out with like the Drakes and the Chris Browns and all that, I'm like, oh, okay. It couldn't paint a more clear picture because in the entertainment industry, a picture can be construed 1,000 different ways. So you're very careful as to who you take pictures with. And being photographed with Chris Brown is a choice. You're sending a deliberate message here, and it's very unfortunate. Trying to show up in Lagos in the midst of all of that violence against Nigerians was a slap in the face. I think it was quite deliberate. She was wise to drop Lagos, but also very dumb to have even put Lagos on there in the first place. Like, girl, bye. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, join the membership. We have a ton of fun and members only. For less than the price of a vanilla mocha latte, you can access my latest video on the bizarre royal mystery of Khate Middleton's disappearance. Girl, grab a drink and get in here. You can also support the channel by buying me a coffee and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much for joining me. Please be safe out there. Be kind to yourselves. And until next time, bye for now.